YouTube, are you awake? You're always the last to wake up, YouTube. You're always the last. Will you give us another day to be on the internet to do our thing? It's always, looks like things are good. Looks like things are good. But YouTube, where are you at? There you are. There you are. You're waking up. You're saying hello. We appreciate you. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Wait 1 second. Let me just make sure. Okay, good. All right. Sweet. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon, good evening, good day, good times. I hope all your dreams have come true, every single one of them. If you had a dream, I hope it came true overnight. I hope like everything's just great. I really do. Before we get started, shout out to all the groups and entities and companies that make today's show possible. ZT.com, ZHITEA.com. They supply the tea for me. And it's great tea. You can get it at wholesale right now. It's run by a good friend of the show, Jeffrey. Go to ZT.com. Pick up some of your favorite tea. That's ZHITEA.com. And the folks over at Trendy as Dabbers, thank you for the CBD pain oil. It's been working wonders on my neck. And thank you for all the swag. That's the folks over at Trendy as Dabbers. And Civi app. Civi app is a new app, CIVVY app, app.com. It's a new app that kind of compiles issues for you. It makes civics all compartmentalized in an easy and convenient way for you. It tells you what issues affect your life, what issues are going on. It tells you what candidates kind of reflect your view of the world best, and it hopes to eventually be a hub for independent news and information. So check that app out. Fish around. They do not have a political agenda. They're just trying to get information out there to the people. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest today. So I've been following this person for a while. She is running for Senate out in West Virginia, and she ran in 2018 against Joe Manchin in the Democratic primary, received more votes than any other candidate to go up against an incumbent in that situation. And now she is running again. So please welcome to the show, Paula Jean Swearengin. Paula, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How y'all doing?
Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you.
Right on. So, wow, there's so much going on in the world, and I know that you've been protesting a lot in West Virginia. So let's just kind of start there. How has that been for you?
Well, I haven't recently. We're out right now. We're out on the road. We're doing a honk and wave tour. We actually go into a protest later on today in Morgantown, West Virginia, in support of Black Lives Matter. But I am out with my team. We are social distancing. Upper management, my team, we pretty much been in isolation together, since everything's been going on with this pandemic. And now we're trying to find inventive ways to reach voters because our primary date is June 9th and people are already voting. And I think that people need just something a little bit positive. So we've been standing out on the street corners and waving at people, and it's been really positive and inspiring. But we're doing a statewide tour in respect with this pandemic, and it's actually been really fun to be around the state because we've been cooped up for so long, I think, too. But yeah, as far as protesting around the state throughout the years, it's been difficult, and it's one of the reasons that I'm running because we're not heard. A lot of people in our state feel like they're not heard, and
Uh-oh. We're losing you a little bit.
Can you hear me now? Sorry, that's Appalachian broadband too. We need broadband in the state so bad. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you now. You're cutting in and out a little bit, but I know you're traveling, so we'll just we'll just get through.
Yeah,
the
I'm
best
so
we
sorry,
can.
y'all.
No, it's okay. And I actually wanted to go there next. So I did notice that on your website. I'm a big proponent for municipal broadband, and I see that you are as well. Do you think is that something that you see West Virginia being able to potentially accomplish on a state level, or do you think it might be more like city by city? And has there been any any developments in municipal broadband in any parts of West Virginia as of right now, to your knowledge. And by the way, for anyone listening, and if you're regulars on this show, you know about this because I talk about it an awful lot. But municipal broadband is basically city-owned internet, or in some cases, state-owned internet, where internet infrastructure is provided by the city instead of a big cable duopoly.
We've not heard anything about it, city-owned internet, and it's a really big challenge. We've been here across the state for a long time, and there has been state and federal funds that come in to expand our infrastructure, but that money ended up being used about having local broadband services, especially during this pandemic with the kids being out of school. Some of the kids up in the hills and hollers, they don't have access to internet, so it's been a really big disservice to the children in the state. And even with campaigning during COVID-19, it's been a disservice to voters because we've expanded our digital marketing extensively, but we've not been able to reach the voters that don't have access to internet services. And so, yeah, our state especially, and it ties into infrastructure here. We know that if people don't know, we put our eggs in one basket for a long time. I'm a proud coal miner's daughter and granddaughter, but the biggest lie that a politician can tell is that coal's going to rebound, because it's not. The market's been declining since the 70s. We've had over 170,000 coal miners in the 70s, and nationwide we have less than 50,000 now. And that's one of the reasons I'm running for office too, because the industry coming here got rich off our backs and left us breadcrumbs. And we don't have visionaries for our future. We could have comprehensive broadband. We could have grow hemp on mountaintop removal sites, tap into the agriculture from that, as well as if we legalize cannabis, we could see economic growth within 6 to 8 months. We have a lot of hot spots here for geothermal that we're not tapping into, as well as if we had good roads, good schools. Some people in this state still don't have access to adequate sewage systems, clean up our water and air because we have been abused by industry. Then we could invite more business here. And it really solidifies that we need to get dark money out of politics, and we need true people servants, not only on a local level, but up to a federal level. Because Virginia is one of the poorest in the nation, and we're entitled to grow too. When you turn on your light switch, it's from the blood of Appalachians. The Industrial Revolution was built on the workers. We can do so.
All right, we lost you for a little bit there. We lost like the end of that answer. Are you there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
No
I
worries.
said it. When you turn on your light switch, okay, it's powered by the blood of Appalachians. The Industrial Revolution was built on the backs of Appalachians, workers, communities, and surrounding communities. And the least that we could do is invest in states like mine so we can grow and advance instead of, living in the dark ages. We don't have a plan B, and we're desperate here. We are dealing with a large amount of depopulation because our children can't stay here. And I'm in this fight for my children and my grandchild.
So when I know that you're a big proponent of a Green New Deal and new energy solutions. So when you encounter voters in the state, because I think a lot of people, it's not like they want to just rely on coal forever. It's just, we don't know anything else. The collective we don't know anything else. And, I grew up in Western Pennsylvania myself, so I can relate to a lot of this too. What type of opportunities exist for new energy, and how do you really drive that point home to voters?
Well, right now, we don't see just transition. Just like I said, we have less than 50,000 coal miners nationwide, and people are already starving. We've dealt with the boom and the bust of the markets forever. And like I said, excuse me, we have a lot of potential in this state, and we do have a lot of hot spots for geothermal as far as energy production. It's been proven that we can have renewables in our state. And like I said, the possibilities are endless. We just need visionaries. It goes back to our serving special interests, lobbyists, and corporations instead of us. They've not cared if we live or die here, so that has to change.
So,
And even go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We have a little bit of a delay here, so sometimes I can't tell exactly when the answer is finished. So, excuse me.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry.
So, tell me a little bit about your election this time around. Tell me about your opponent and everything that's going on there.
It's actually leave the state and want to come back home. They have helped us achieve the goal of outraising everyone 8-1. And our campaign is 100% people funded. And I'm really humbled by the large amount of people that is invested in this campaign. We are the only campaign in the primary that has a full staff. We have an amazing campaign manager, field director, comms director, and finance director. And we've had 800 to 1,000 people to sign up to volunteer. And it's been really incredible. We are the only campaign that's geared up to take out Shelley Moore Capito. And it's really personal to me. And the most important thing is to take out Shelley Moore Capito. She's been in office for over 20 years. She's a woman. She's a grandmother. She's voted against equal pay for women at least 3 times. And she's turned a blind eye of the children dying and starving in this state. And as a mother and grandmother, I'm ready to face off with her. She was the first woman to be elected to the United States Senate to represent the state of West Virginia, and she's ignored all of our needs. And so it's time to elect a woman into the United States Senate that is going to raise the voices of the voiceless in West Virginia and stand up and make sure that we do have the grow our state. And it's really important to me to make sure that West Virginians do have a say in Washington. So, we've been working around our state forever. Got off our backs, and it's time for West Virginians to have an opportunity to have a seat at the table and help write legislation that will be introduced that impacts their lives directly.
So, what are the top 3 issues that you really think are, important for your campaign and just important for the state? If you had to narrow it down to 3, obviously there's a lot more, but kind of what are the main 3?
Well, the first off is what we've been talking about a lot is economic diversity. We needed that like yesterday. We need to quit putting our eggs in one basket. The second is we lead in drug overdose deaths in the country. We are dealing with, with one of the largest addiction epidemics in the country. And I've spent a lot of time in 2018 and even this election cycle talking to people in the front lines of our communities that have been working really hard to solve that problem. And what we have seen with our incumbents, we hear oftentimes that they want to help and they want to help in the addiction epidemic, but they want to put all that money into drug replacement therapy. Drug replacement therapy plays a role in helping with addiction. However, that long-term recovery systems work. Instead of taking money and putting all that money back into big pharma, we need to make sure that we have state and federal funding going into long-term recovery systems and making sure that they have the support they need from medical providers, social workers, and making sure that people too have a true path to recover from addiction. In addition to that, we need to make sure after part of the recovery process is to make sure that people can be reintroduced back into society, and that ties into healthcare for all too. We need that to end the addiction epidemic, and that goes to the third part of my platform is Medicare for all. I've been a proponent for that for a long time. Medicare already. We did a lot.
We're losing you a little bit again.
I'm sorry. We are a really sick state. And with small businesses, when we're talking about economic growth, everything kind of ties in together. If we had it would take the burden off of small businesses. They wouldn't have to pay high premiums for their employees, and they could put that money back into their business. So it's economic diversity, long-term recovery solutions for the addiction epidemic, and Medicare for all.
So, I did a show in Richmond, Virginia, I guess it was like almost 2 years ago now. And there was a couple from West Virginia that made the trip. It was about a 5-hour drive for them, but they made the trip, which was really cool. And, we were talking pretty extensively after the show. And they said to me that, a lot of people in their community, they just sort of feel like electoral politics has just sort of abandoned them completely. And I can't blame anybody, throughout the country, West Virginia or otherwise, for feeling that way, especially when you're in rural America where, you were made all these promises and then none of them came to fruition. As you said, putting all the eggs in one basket for decades and decades now. So how do you try to break through that and really say to people, I'm something different and I'm a better tomorrow?
Well, it's not only just me. I'm just a small part of a big movement.
Sure.
Across our state right now. We have several candidates, over 90 candidates, individuals like myself that is running for office because we're tired of voting for the lesser of two evils, that have not, agreed and pledged not to take corporate and corporate PAC dollars. And we know in Congress, one person is not going to be our savior. If I go to represent the state of West Virginia and I can be the squeakiest mouse, I might get the cheese and get all the media, but that doesn't mean it's going to change anything. So I've been working with organizations like Brand New Congress, who is also a slate of candidates like myself that have sworn off corporate and corporate PAC dollars, that are working really hard to make sure that we have a good, strong Congress. One of the other reasons I decided to run for United States Senate is because of our presidential elections. No matter who our president is, we still need a good, strong Congress, and especially the Senate, because we'll be making decisions like with the Supreme Court. So it's vitally important that we continue, even if we don't get people elected this cycle, which I'm sure we're going to see a lot of people getting elected that are ordinary people that can be people servants instead of corporate servants. We keep on pushing that needle, and we keep on changing the narrative, and it holds our incumbents accountable, because if they can't do their jobs, it's time that we did it for them. And what sets me aside is I don't see myself as just one person that's going to be our savior. We have to continue to unite and work together and build a better tomorrow for our children and grandchildren.
Do you find it easy, or well, maybe that's probably not the right way to frame the question, but as far as, like I said, like I have roots in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so not crazy far from you. And I did a media ecology study when I was in graduate school, which is as nerdy as it sounds, about fracking and everything that was going on there. And, I just focused on how, the oil and gas companies really just, entrenched themselves in the local community. They really, like the sports arenas are named after them. They sponsor these signs everywhere. They try to make it out like they're friends of the community. Of course, that's not the case. And I'd imagine that a similar thing goes on in West Virginia. Have you encountered a significant amount of resistance being an environmental candidate? Uh-oh. I think we lost you for a second here. Are you there? Oh, we lost Paula for good. Okay. All right. So so this is why we need a municipal broadband and and municipal cellular as well. This is why we need it. Unfortunately, I think we just lost Paula. Let's hold the phones a little bit, see if she can hop back on, and if not, we'll just kind of we'll just kind of end it. I can make an announcement that I was gonna make later, but I guess I'll make it now since it's just me at the moment. We talked about AB 2261 on the show, folks. And quick refresher for anyone that was not here yesterday. That is the controversial facial recognition bill that would just further allow the police to continue with mass surveillance. Paula Jean's coming back.
Hey,
Paula,
hey,
you're back.
sorry,
I think we got you. Are you here? All right, we're not hearing you now. We're losing you. Yeah, you're frozen on us. Here, let me go. Can you hear me? I think we're completely frozen. Yeah, I think we're completely frozen there. There we go. I think you're coming in. Are you here? Now we lost you again. Anyway, the AB 2261 has been defeated. That's the good news. I'll finish on that as we see what's happening here. But yeah, AB 2261 has been defeated. So that didn't go through. That's a good thing. And let's see. Paula, are you there? Can hear you a little bit, but you're freezing on me. Yeah, I think we just don't have a good signal, which is unfortunate. Let's see here. Let me try it again. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, you're not coming through. All right. Well, sorry about this, folks. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Let's see if Paula, are you there? No. Okay. All right. Well, so AB 2261 has been defeated. That's a little bit of good news today. In a time where any ounce of good news definitely helps. And yeah, it looks like we're probably not going to be able to get Paula back here. There was a lot of choppiness going on. Let me see if they've reached out to me. But unfortunately, folks, we may need to just sort of end it there. Which a little bit of a bummer, but we'll have her back on. We'll have her back on and we'll talk a little more next time. And I apologize for this. But all right. Yeah, it looks like that's that. Guys, I am a big fan of Paula Jean Swearengin. It's a bummer about the tech issue that we couldn't finish the interview today. But please check out our website to learn more. It is just paulajean.com. She keeps it simple, which I like that. It's just paulajean.com. Boom. So go to paulajean.com. Let me just double check that real quick. That's how I have it written down. But let me make sure I just didn't screw that up. And there's nope. That's right. It's just paulajean.com. Keeps it simple. No weird anything, just straight up paulajean.com. So go check out our website and learn more. I'm sorry that we did not get to finish the interview today, but unfortunately there was there were some connectivity issues on her end, and it does happen, especially when someone's traveling and they're going to campaign events and then to protest with Black Lives Matter. So they're fighting the good fight today. We're glad they were able to join us for a little bit, even though unfortunately the tech gods did not smile upon us the whole time. But guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. And until then, Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, unless otherwise noted. I know with all the craziness in the world, things have been starting at different times. It's been a little random. But for the most part, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, unless you hear otherwise. And in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.